Hello, I'm Kads, and welcome back to the free-to-play review. So today's topic is going to be the latest iteration of the summon pool, specifically the Barbarians summon pool, and we do have a special one, so to speak, up for grabs here, or at least special champions up for grabs here. We have, of course, the faction unity champion for the faction, Dune Lord Gregor, but more importantly, I think more people would be focused on the chance to get Bayek. Of course, he had a 10x this past weekend, so if you happen to pull him, then congratulations, myself included in that category, thankfully. If you want to check that out, that video is up there in the upper right-hand corner. But yeah, those are kind of the mainstays or the main appeals of the summon pool. 1.5% chance that if you get a champion, it's going to be that one. And then you have a 4.5% chance split amongst these 8 other legendaries here from the Barbarians faction. So the notable, good ones, I would definitely call out Freyja here. Her passive is really strong for kind of surviving the instant kill type of compositions. Thor is a really solid Hydra DPS, but also just a solid nuker in general, kind of seeing a little bit of a resurgence in the meta because he can ignore block damage and unkillable, I believe, on this ability. Yeah, both, which is awesome. Armand's a little bit less powerful in the current meta, but still decently strong if you're more in the early game, the mid game progressing, then he can be very strong. He basically locks down waves if you need him to do that, but he also is still pretty strong in PvP as well, up until the point where you start to deal with a lot of wands of submission, then he kind of falls off. And then opening clan father, honorable mention here is that he's good if you have Senna, if you want to push a high turn count in terms of Chimera clan boss, and thus high damage and or trials, depending upon your goals. And then Valkyrie, she's decent, OG champion, but the AoE counterattacking the shield is useful in a lot of areas, including Fire Knight, but also restrictive content as well as Demon Lord clan boss more specifically. When it comes to the epics, and I always like to point this out, that the odds are that you're going to get an epic from this, though, because there's a 94% chance that happens, 60% chance for a legendary. This is effectively a sacred shard, but yeah, most of the time, 19 out of 20 times, you're going to get an epic out of these, so don't be surprised if you get another epic. But I digress. So in terms of the epic quality here, pretty meh. I think the only one to really mention is Farrakhan the Fat, the best epic ally attacker in the game. Then I would say Alika is decent. She's kind of the basher, but a nuker, so a little bit of lockout, a little bit of damage. And she does have a cool ignore defense ability here, 50% ignore on a 2-turn cooldown, which is a good sniper ability. But those are kind of the only ones worth mentioning. Oh, sorry, I forgot Hoskrull, my bad. AoE stun, good for CC and control, and a pretty decent nuker to boot. So yeah, there's 3 good epics there, but yeah, it's a small pickings or slim pickings here because of course it's limited to one faction. There's not that many epics in the Barbarians by chance. So yeah, odds are decent that you could get something here as always, or maybe they're terrible depending upon how you look at the 6%. But you could walk away with something. You could walk away with an epic. It could be useful to get a duplicate, empower your epics. You could get lucky, get one of the legendaries. You could get super lucky, get the void legendary. So make of this what you will. In terms of the air quotes free summon, we do have one opportunity to get that from the Sand Devil. I believe it's a turn attack. Yes, so the faster you can do it, or the fewer turns you can do it, the more points you're going to get. And so anyone with the speed Siffy comps and now the Harvest Jack potentially speed comps, you could do this really quickly, get a lot of points for a really relatively low amount of energy. Now, when it comes to myself in particular, I'm still kind of deciding whether or not to go for this. Like I mentioned earlier, I do have Bayek now, and I don't really care about Dune Lord Gregor, so it's not as enticing. The summon pool is the grand prize, so to speak. But I'm still missing Freyja. I wouldn't mind getting some duplicates of Barbarians if I get lucky. Granted, I just basically came off of getting a legendary from a summon pool, so I'm expecting to get another epic this one, so a little bit disincentivized, but regardless, you never know. It's always worth taking a shot. However, the current fusion Pelops is taking up my focus for the next couple of days, so I will decide tomorrow, depending upon how much dragon I could get done over the next day in a few hours, and see if there's enough bandwidth to wrap that up, and then also push, just throw some gems into energy in terms of getting the Sand Devil thing done. But we'll see. It just kind of depends how much spare energy I have and if I'm willing to spend my resources for a small chance at champions who mostly I have and or don't need. But that is my particular situation. Obviously yours may vary, so this could be a good opportunity for you, especially if you're already done with the Pelops fusion, to just focus on the Sand Devil for a couple of days, get your free summon, and hope that you get something good. But yeah, we're gonna keep this one pretty short and sweet. You can probably already hear it, but I am coming off of a cold at the moment, so apologies for any and all sniffling in this recording. But yeah, that's pretty much it. These summon pools are pretty par for the course at this point. It's always basically a sacred shard, 40 fragments. You usually get an opportunity for one air quotes free summon. Most likely you're gonna walk away away with an epic, but you never know, you could get one of the legendaries. And so make of that what you will, decide for yourself. And most importantly, let me know in the comment section down below what you plan to do around the Barbarians summon pool. As always, if you did find this video helpful, then be sure to hit that like button down below. It really does help out the channel. And feel free to hit the subscribe button down below as well, if and only if you're enjoying the content overall on this channel for more content just like this one in the future. Thanks for watching and have a good one.